Hi there. Those of you who are used to listening to our interviews and reviews and job news about the South African or the wider African legal markets, then you'll be familiar with the fact that I've been saying for quite some time now that going forward into 2024, we're going to start bringing you data and analysis and market information that is going to impact you. If you're in practice, it might affect you or your team or your clients, most importantly, because that's where the work comes from. If you're in-house or if you're working in legal tech, what's going on in the wider market that might impact your role, your jobs, your opportunities going forward for promotion, from new jobs. If it's legal tech, the sales, the growth of your firm. So we're going to be bringing that to you. And in the first in that series as well, my wonderful research and data analytical team here at GRM have brought me a report. Now, if you're watching this on Substack, if you're one of the many thousands of subscribers to our Substack channel, globallegalmarket.substack.com, the link's below, then you'll be able to download this report. So if you're watching this on YouTube or on one of the socials, my advice to you is to go to our Substack channel. It's free to sign up. It's an online magazine newsletter. We only try to send one newsletter a month because people get their inboxes full and they get very bored. But you can go in there, and there's now, I think, over 300 articles and research pieces and data and analysis that you can download. But anyway, that's enough of that. The report will be on there, so have a look at that. It's in PDF form. So we've really, like I said, we're really looking at what is going to be happening to our clients, to their clients, and really what impacts the markets. Now, again, I've said this 150 million times already, and I say it till I'm blue in the face at our offices. But we have if you look at the legal market, certainly in practice, as a spider diagram, the center of that spider from a revenue and deal flow perspective is the corporate M&A and corporate finance market. That's what really drives everything. Out of that comes obviously incredibly profitable areas like litigation and employment and various other practice areas, but it's really the corporate and commercial sphere that really drives that going forward. Now, so it's really important to start looking into what's happening in the marketplace. So let's share the screen very quickly. This is information that we have looked at 100 times. It's not picking up PDFs. Apologies for that. Let's try this one. Here we go. So hopefully you can now see this. It is it's popping up in a second, but it's the charts from Statista that we've been looking at for quite some time. And yeah, it's not sharing at the moment. Anyway, well, we'll see if we can get that up. Here we go. We're having trouble connecting, it says. So anyway, upshot is that the charts, and I'll put them in afterwards if I have to, showing, yeah, it's not sharing them, so brilliant. It's showing that there is an increase of 71% increase in the number of M&A deals from last year to this year. Sounds phenomenal, right? But, you know, that's forgetting that from 2021, there was a 74% decrease in M&A deals in South Africa. And then from that low number, there was a further 68% decrease last year. So the last couple of years have been horrendous. So any uptick is phenomenal, and hopefully we'll import these charts so you can have a quick look at them going forward. So there's going to be more growth, which is going to lead to more opportunity. What we're going to be doing going forward is we're going to be looking at where that growth is. Not only just in the industry, but also within the firms, as in within the companies. What mergers, acquisitions, commercial work are they going to do? And who are their law firms? And so we can start really looking at who's going to be doing well this year. Therefore, where are the opportunities? So if we share this report now, I'll share some of it, and we'll pick up on a couple of things that I wanted to discuss with you. Okay, so the reports come up. So let's just scroll up a little bit. So we're tackling a number of different sectors, market indicators. Inflation is coming down a little bit, which is obviously positive for the average Joe on the street, and has an impact. But obviously, the repo rate will probably stay the same. These are kind of things that we see, perhaps a little bit stronger on the rand, things like that, things that people can feel always happen in an election year. But let's be honest, a lot of this, unless it's dramatically changed, won't improve, the lives and the opportunities within the legal sector. Minor increase on consumer spending and that kind of thing, growth forecast. Sadly, the IMF is revising its forecast further down again this year for us. But again, I'm focusing on that M&A market. A lot of these things tend to be retrospective in terms of looking at old data. I want us to look forward. So for that, we look at Statista. The employment market, a couple of things that were quite interesting in the last couple of weeks that have popped out at us. Recruitment freeze at the major hospitals in the Western Cape. That doesn't seem very good, obviously. That's having an effect on the healthcare market. I can't imagine why there would be a hiring freeze. It is obviously causing chaos within those hospitals in terms of scheduling shifts, and that has a negative effect on patient care, which is obviously primary for what they do. But from a client perspective, those law firms that work very heavily in the hospital, healthcare, mediclinics, that kind of sphere, they might, obviously, if they work in the employment space and they're retrenching or recruitment freezing, then that could produce potentially more work. But we really want to see this increasing, right? I mean, anything that's freezing, anything that stays still, isn't good for any business. And then again, metals and engineering sector, you can see the numbers there that are showing some job losses, which again, rather cynically can create some work from a litigation perspective, from an employment perspective. But, we really want to see it going the other way, don't we? Let's be honest. Financial services, big market, right? Got there Peter Armitage, the CEO of Anchor Capital, anticipates many market fluctuations. Thank you for that, Peter. The expectation stems from the uncertainties tied to the election. I mean, I think we've all been saying this. I actually am a bit more bullish on South Africa in an election year. I think they're going to be doing everything they possibly can to make us feel good. I mean, we've just started the load shedding going on again. That's not going to make anyone feel good. So hopefully we don't see too many fluctuations. I'd like to see an upward fluctuation, if that's such a thing. Investec, we're talking about the resurgence of M&A. That ties in with the figures we've got off Statista. Yeah, look, I mean, it's going to be a good year, and hopefully we can keep going into 2025, 26, and let's just get those charts back up again on the M&A side. That creates jobs, it creates opportunities, it creates big deals for the lawyers. So and that creates more in-house opportunities for people who want to cross over and things like that. So interestingly, ABSA opening a non-banking subsidiary in China. Having lived in China for a decade, I can't see the benefit of that at all, but I'm not on the board of ABSA, so it would be interesting to see how that pans out. And then obviously we've got things going on in terms of Mozambique and Eskom. But Sanlam announcing proposed acquisition of Assupol. Very interesting, 6.5 billion deal. I'd have to look and see which of the law firms that are working with Sanlam at the moment, but that's obviously a really big deal for one or two or three or four of the big guns. So we'll be looking into that a little bit more and seeing what will the knock-on effect will that be? Are the teams looking to grow? Is there more opportunity for an aggressive hiring practice after doing such big deals? So in retail, we're expecting an increase in retail prices, and ShopRite Holdings have announced that. That's not good for any of us, is it? And not great news coming out of the mining sector, but hopefully we won't miss out on the next gold rush, because I've seen what that can do for countries like Australia. I had an office in Australia for about 5 years and saw that boom going on, and how well everybody did out of that, and it would be wonderful to see that in South Africa as well. Obviously, agriculture and farming is big for us here. We want to see that increasing. We want to see that growing. I know there's a lot of lawyers out there that do, and some law firms, especially in the Cape, that work really big in this industry, and I'd love to see it booming with exports, and to see South Africa taking advantage of what's happening in the the global economy, and see whether we can take on opportunities that are coming our way. Okay, suffice to say, it's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment, right? But the M&A market is really growing, and I think we need to capitalize on that. So for the senior partners and senior lawyers that we're looking at, what does that mean? That means more firms are going to be winning more business. They're going to be more hiring. They're going to be wanting to bring people in with books of business and existing clients, people who can sustain themselves. Out of that M&A market will be a knock-on effect for all other practice areas, litigation, possibly investigations. I just don't see any growth in the business rescue and insolvency side of things. I've said that already, but maybe I'm wrong. Every major company needs a strong BR and Insol team, but I just don't see any growth in that side of things. I think, and obviously on the podcast, of those of you who have seen it, we had Michael from CNA Freelander came on, and he talked about the growth of the construction market, which seems to be doing well. And I said, anytime I drive through Joburg and even Cape Town, really, you're just seeing more and more stuff going on. So that's phenomenal. So look, lots of opportunities out there. Get in touch. Good news coming out of the market, some fluctuations and some bad news as well. But look, let's stay on top of it and let's get those opportunities in front of you. Have a great weekend or week ahead, wherever you're watching this. Thanks very much.